Most of us think we are planning for the future when we are actually just suffering in advance. We spend hours, days, sometimes years, mentally rehearsing catastrophes that have not yet happened. We call this being prepared. We call it responsibility. But the Stoics saw it for what it truly was, a profound waste of the present moment and a surrender of our inner peace. Today, we look at the vital, often razor-thin line between rational preparation and destructive anxiety. Seneca, one of the most practical voices of Stoicism, famously observed that we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Think about the last time you felt overwhelmed by a future event. Perhaps a difficult conversation at work, a financial uncertainty, or a health concern. Your mind likely projected a worst-case scenario. You felt the physical tension, the racing heart, the tight chest. You were experiencing the pain of a disaster that, in all likelihood, never actually arrived. Seneca's point is not to tell us to ignore the future, but to stop living in a fantasy of our own destruction. To understand this, we must distinguish between preferred indifference and internal disturbance. A preferred indifferent is a goal or an outcome we might hope for, like a successful project or good health. It is rational to take steps toward these things. We prepare, we plan, we act. But internal disturbance is the agitation we create when we attach our sense of self-worth or happiness to the outcome. When we worry, we are essentially trying to control the uncontrollable. We are trying to force the universe to bend to our preferences, and when we realize it won't, we suffer. This is where the Stoic practice of Premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils, is so often misunderstood. It is not an invitation to pessimism or a license to ruminate on fear. It is a disciplined exercise to neutralize fear. By calmly imagining what could go wrong, you strip the future event of its power to surprise you. You are not worrying. You are building a mental blueprint for resilience. If the worst happens, you are ready. If it doesn't, you have lost nothing. The goal is readiness, not panic. It is the difference between a sailor checking the hull for leaks before a storm and a sailor standing on the deck screaming at the horizon because they fear the rain. Epictetus, the former slave-turned-philosopher, defined the very core of our work as distinguishing between what is within our control and what is not. Your future actions, your current preparation, and your attitude are yours to command. The outcome, the timing, and the actions of others are not. When you feel that familiar knot of anxiety tightening in your chest, pause. Ask yourself, am I currently preparing for a specific, actionable outcome, or am I simply looping on the fear of what might happen? If you are preparing, keep working. If you are looping, recognize the cycle for what it is, a thief of your present life. Uncertainty is not a problem to be solved with anxiety. It is a fundamental feature of the universe. To be ataraxic, to have a mind untroubled, is to accept this uncertainty and focus solely on the clarity of your next step. You do not need to solve the whole future today. You only need to act with wisdom in this moment. Ataraxia Daily brings you one Stoic lesson every single day to help you build a calmer, more resilient mind. If you found this practice useful, please subscribe to the channel and join us again tomorrow for another step toward a life lived with intent.